Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today with Ellie, my little Yorkshire Terrier, to do a Facebook Live and show you some new fun things. I hope you're ready and ready to go and watching. Let me see, I'm just gonna get this out. Okay, so now I can see when you pop on, and I really appreciate you stopping by today. We have had an extremely busy morning. We've gotten ready for the Facebook Live, and we went to the post office and mailed our February class to go. Every month I prepare a class to go so that you can take one of my classes in the convenience of your own home. And I had all the pre-orders, and I got all the stuff. I cut all the pretty papers and ribbons and everything and popped it in the mail today. I went down to the post office and I send it priority mail, so it gets there in 2 days. And I'm really excited for all of those of you who took the class to get it, because it was one of my favorites. It was the Hey Chicks bundle, and I just loved it. Hey Allison, good to see you. So we have had our trip to the post office, and we are ready to go and show a really pretty card today. Now, one thing I want to talk about today is Celebration. It ends on Sunday, February 28th, 2021. And so there's only 4 more days. If you have any staples that you need, like white paper, basic white cardstock, glue, different adhesives, envelopes, this is the time to get it, because for a $50 order you get a free gift from the Celebration catalog, and they are such fabulous gifts. I don't want you to miss out on any one. So if you have already placed an order and you still have something you want in the catalog, there's no way to ever buy it, the Celebration catalog. You can only earn it by placing an order. Hey Diane from Alabama, good to see you. So, oh, Allison, I want to tell you, I actually have your class. I'm going to bring it by to you. Allison lives in my area, and so I'm going to drive her class over to her, and she got a lot of really fun things too. So I'll be contacting you, Allison. Okay, so Celebration is almost over, and the other thing I want to talk to you about is the butterflies are coming. We have a fabulous early release butterfly bundle and beautiful papers, and I'm going to use those on Friday. I thought I'd wait till Friday to really introduce them to you. But today we're going to focus on Hydrangea Hill. Everybody loves the hydrangeas. So I'm going to put Ellie down, and we're going to get started, because actually we have kind of a lot to do. Today we're going to do what's called Case the Catalog, or Case the Caddy, C-A-T-T-Y, as some people call it. Have you ever cased the caddy? Have you ever tried to make one of the beautiful cards in any of the catalogs? I have, and I love to do it, and that's what we're going to do today. And in our mini catalog, January to June, so you've still got till June, that's 3 more months to get things out of this catalog, is a beautiful set, and I'm going to show it to you now in the catalog so you can see what we're going to case, what we're going to copy. This is the Hydrangea Hill Suite, and all of these cards are sample cards that Stampin' Up! Has made with items in the Hydrangea Hill Suite. And it is on page 18 of the mini catalog. If you have a catalog and you want to get it out now and refer to page 18, you can see up close what we're going to do, and you can even be following along that way. This is the card over here, and we're going to use quite a few of the items from the suite. I'll open the catalog up and show you. We're going to use the Hydrangea Haven bundle. We're going to use the Mercury Glass Designer Acetate, in case you've wondered what that does. We're not going to use the ribbon, but we're going to use the beautiful pastel pearls, which I think are still back ordered. And we're going to use this gorgeous Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. Yes, Diane, wonderful ideas in the catalog. I just love the catalog. So let me show you the card, the completed card, and what we're going to accomplish today. Isn't that gorgeous? I didn't know I was going to love it so much when I first started making it, and I am now just in love with this card, and more so with the stamps and dies, because I've used some things that I hadn't used before that surprised me. For example, here's the stamp set, the Hydrangea Haven stamp set, and I had not used this stamp. It's like a watercolor blurb. I know that sounds funny, but it is a neat stamp, and we're going to use that. And let's see, I think I used everything else. I've used everything else, but we're also going to use the sentiment, I appreciate all the little things you do. But this is a fun stamp that we're going to use. And then from the Hydrangea Haven dies, I guess they're called the Hydrangea dies, we're going to use this leaf die, and it is really, really pretty and delicate. So let's get started. We're going to start out, I'm going to put the sample card over to the side, and we're going to start out with a card base of Mossy Meadow cardstock, and it's 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2. This is kind of the tall way to make cards. I really like this way. It's a little different from normal, and I think it's fun for people to receive because it's just a little different. So I already had it scored at 5 1/2. I'm just going to burnish that, and we're going to put on one of these pieces, this piece of the Hydrangea Designer Series paper. There's the back. I know, it's hard to cover it up, isn't it? But this piece is cut to the full size of the front of the card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I hope. I think I cut it right. It's looking a little thick. Wide. Nope, it's right. So we're just going to put a little glue, not too much, and just adhere that right to the very front of the card. And I'm going to go up to the top here, and with the glue you can just move it about a little bit and make sure you've got it completely even with the edges of your card. Hi Anthony, how are you in London? Good to see you. Okay, so that's basically our card base. Now I want to warn you, with this card you need a ton of dimensionals. So I actually got out a brand new, not a new pack, but a new sheet. You get three sheets in a pack because we need a lot of dimensionals here. So we're just going to start, building our card. And I think actually what we'll do first is we'll do a little stamping, because I have a piece of basic white for the inside of the card. And this piece is 4 by 3 1/4. Let me check. It's different from the other pieces. Get my trusty ruler out. Okay, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Sorry, boo-boo. But I wanted to give this a little stamp. And now this is a photopolymer stamp set, and you can see I've been practicing. Because I want everything to come out just right, I'm going to use one of our mats so that we know it's really, you know, my impression is going to come out good. You can do it on a magazine. That also works. So I've got this little tiny floral stamp, and I'm going to use that, and it has one little pointy side. I'm going to point it into the corner of the paper there, and that's the outline. And then there is because this is kind of a watercolor wash look set, there's a watercolor wash stamp to go right over that. And I'm stamping in Melon Mambo. And let's see, how did I figure that out? Okay, so there's a little pointy end here, a little pointy end here. I don't know for sure. Maybe it goes the other way. It's not meant to be exact, so there it is. It's just a little blurb right over it. But I really want to get this glued on before we start with the rest of the card. So let's glue this on the inside, and then we don't have to worry about the inside as we're decorating the front. Just a little. And I'm doing this because the inside is a dark colored, we're using a dark colored cardstock, the Mossy Meadow. and we need someplace to write where the recipient can really see it, right? Okay, now let's do our stamping of our, let me find my little piece of paper here. We've got our acetate that we're going to put on, but we are going to stamp the watercolor wash, okay? And if you notice in the catalog and on the sample, it's light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. So for this card, we're actually going to use, if you can imagine, 6 stamp pads. Here they are. We're going to use Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Old Olive, Soft Seafoam, Melon Mambo, and Blushing Bride. Aren't those beautiful colors? And so we're going to start actually with the lighter colors because the darker ones are going to go over it. And I want to show you, we're going to have to, hi Linda, good to see you. Because we're going to have to clean off our stamp every time. Here's the watercolor wash stamp. And because we have to clean it off every time, I'm using the Simply Chamois. Now, I know it looks bad, doesn't it? But it doesn't affect the stamp, and it's wet. You wet it, it's a big chamois, and I keep it in a clear plastic stamp case. And then after every time I stamp, I can go over here and wash it off, and it's ready for the next color. So let's get started. Now, normally I don't use this. Normally I use my case that is my cleaner, and I'm going to do a little video, I think, pretty soon on how to clean your stamps, because I've done one on how to clean your blocks. If you haven't seen that, it's on my YouTube channel. So what we're going to do here to start is we're going to ink up this watercolor wash stamp with Blushing Bride. Now, one thing I noticed is I like the look. I'm going to start with the light colors and go down. And I like the look of it being stamped off. So I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp it up here at the top and press well. And then it's a lighter look. I think it's prettier. So we'll go then for our next light color, which is the Soft Seafoam. Put that over there, and we'll get out our Soft Seafoam. And it really is fun to see this whole thing come together. So make sure my stamp is dry and washed off. Let me wash it just a little more. And we're going to go with the Soft Seafoam. Yes, Anthony, beautiful, beautiful combination. And you want to make sure you get plenty of ink on there. And then we're going to put this down, leaving about 1/2 inch in between, because remember, we need to get 6 colors on here, 6 stamps of watercolor wash. And there's our beautiful Soft Seafoam. Okay, now we're ready for Highland Heather. So we'll do that next. And that's our lighter shade of the purples. The other one is Gorgeous Grape. And again, with this one, I notice that if I do a stamp off, it is a little bit lighter and contrasts very nicely with the Gorgeous Grape. So I'm going to put this about 1/2 inch below the other one. And there we go. And it doesn't matter if those look like watercolor marks anyway. If you have some where it's not perfectly even in color, the stamp is meant to do that. Now we're going to start up at the top with our bright, I'm using Melon Mambo. And I do not want to stamp off on this at all. You all know that I love pink. Hi Marty, good to see you. So I'm going to start off with the bright, it's not a bright, but it's Melon Mambo is a beautiful color, and it's brighter than the others. So I'm going to put that right here and press down well so it gets good coverage. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? It's really fun to watch this take shape. Okay, our next one is going to be Old Olive. So let's get out the Old Olive. Make sure I've got my stamp washed off and kind of dry. Get my Old Olive on there. A little bit more on the bottom. I always like to look underneath and make sure there's plenty of ink. And so this is going to go on like this over the other two. Isn't that pretty? Wow. And then we're going to go with Gorgeous Grape. Pam, good to see you. Yeah, these are beautiful. Okay, here's our Gorgeous Grape. We'll make sure it gets all inked. And here we go. And some of this is going to hang off. Isn't that beautiful? I'll just let you enjoy that for a minute. I'll take the pad out. Look how pretty those colors are. I just love them. I wouldn't have done this if I hadn't have seen the the card in the catalog. So casing the catalog really helps you to learn. And case, maybe you don't know, it means copy and share everything. And basically it just means copy. You know, copy the catalog, copy a card out of the catalog. That's why we say case the catalog. So here we go, and this is where we begin using all these Stampin' Dimensionals. Now it's interesting because this is the acetate, the beautiful acetate, and this one is, it looks purpley until you put the other colors near it, and then it takes on the Rococo Rose look. Let me hold that up a little more. I don't know if you can really see it that well. There you go. Okay, so what we're going to do, this piece, the acetate layer is 4 inches by 3 1/4. And I'm going to put 6 dimensionals on it because I noticed in the catalog, if you look at that one, you can see that it's raised up a lot. So they also used a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm using 6 here. 2 in each corner, and whoops, how did that happen? They've been coming off in doubles lately. They just want to jump off right onto my paper. Okay, so we'll just have 2 there, I guess. And pull all these little goodies off. And this piece, interestingly, is wider than the watercolor wash piece. Wider, but not taller. Let's see. Yeah, it's wider, but not taller. So it's kind of interesting. And then it's a little challenge to get that right even. But you can be guided by the stripes in this plaid. And now we'll put on our watercolor wash piece. And we're going to do the same thing. Well, actually, yeah, I want to make sure to bring these down a little from the edge since the acetate is not quite as tall as this piece. So these are tips for when you're making, if you want to make this card, these are tips for you. And you could jot down the tips if you feel like you'd like to make this card. Thank you guys. It is pretty. I mean, I saw it and I just had to do it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is this goes about 1/4 inch above and below the acetate and about 1/4 inch in. And you can see now how that is raised up twice. It really looks good because of the dimensionals. Now what we're going to do is the leaves. Now I went ahead and pre-cut the leaves from the die in the set. They're very delicate, but I wanted to save a little time. So see that delicate die? See how delicate it is? Yeah. And so these are the delicate little leaves. And I've die cut 2. And then what my goal is here is to kind of alternate them a little bit and put a dimensional under the top. And that's how we're going to adhere them to the front of the card. So let me get that little dimensional. I'm going to put it right under where the 2 tips come together. And then it looks a little, well, dimensional because you've got really 6 leaves. And I noticed the way they did it on the catalog was, let's see, they had, oh my, this one didn't stick on. Okay, we'll do it like that. There we go. So the little tips are just adhered to the dimensional. And now what I saw in the catalog was that these 2 little stems were apart and they were kind of hanging over like this. Can you see that? So I'm going to do that same thing and put that dimensional on there. Now the fun part is this. darling little floral image. This was not stamped. It took me a minute to figure it out. And it's a piece of the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. This is the back of it. And they just cut one of these floral images out, one of those groupings. And I didn't want to take the time to do it here, but you know I love fussy cutting anyway. So I just fussy cut that little guy. He's not too big. And what we're going to do is just set it over like that. Let me pull this down a little bit so you can see it better. So we're back to the dimensionals now. And I'm just going to put the dimensionals on the top. I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on the top because the lower one down in here, that area is going to adhere to the dimensionals I used on the leaves, right? Now I want to tell you that I am making PDF tutorials for all of these. And I was kind of giving them to those of you who shared, but then what I've decided is I'm going to use them for anybody who orders. So if you place an order of this bundle or anything to do with the Hydrangea Hill Suite, I will send you a PDF tutorial of this card. I think it's a nice treat, and it's a nice way I like to thank people for ordering from me. And so I think that's going to be a nice way to order. So there will be a PDF tutorial available if you order anything from the suite, the bundle, the papers, anything. And that's at any time. When I see you ordering something, I'll add the tutorial to my little thank you email. Okay, now we need to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to have fun with this because I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to use Melon Mambo. I want it to match that pink because if you remember from the sample card, I'll put the sample back. It's kind of layered on the Melon Mambo, so we want that to match. And here's our sentiment. I appreciate all the little things you do. And we're just going to stamp it on here. And now we're going to cut it out with a fun, oh, this is another die that I was surprised about that I really didn't know about. It's a label die, and it's really neat. I'm getting out my little baby boss here. And this is a little tricky. I might have to use some washi tape because, let me get my one plate back. The sentiment matches the label die just perfectly, and it's also stitched. It's so small, but it's great. And so I can set it up like this, but I did one where it didn't come out even. But let's give it a try and hope it doesn't move. If it moves, I'll have to do it again and use washi. Okay, so I'm just going to press that down, and we'll run that through and hope it comes out even. Just because it's such a small one, it doesn't always, stay still, but wow, I think this one did. It looks great. Oh, it came out well. And I want to hold it up close so you can see. Let me see if I can get it in the light. Can you see that, how it's stitched on the edges? I don't know if you can see that, but it is beautiful. It's a really cute little die that I think we can use for a lot of things. So let's go back to our card, and we're going to use more dimensionals. And what we're going to do is just put the dimensionals on this side because we want it to hang over there. So let's get 2 dimensionals on the left side of the sentiment piece, just like that. Now, it really hasn't been hard to make, has it? It's really not hard. It's just kind of knowing the measurements and stuff, and I've told those to you. There we go. And then for our, well, we didn't stamp our envelope, but we do have our inside stamped, right? We're ready to go on that. And now we're going to put on some of these beautiful pastel pearls. Oh my gosh. This is a good lesson for all of us, that when we really love something, order it right away. Because very shortly after these came out, I think they'll be on back order, then they'll come back in, then they'll be on back order. And the minute things come out, I try to order them. I don't know if that sticky stuff, yeah, I guess it did. So I'm going to put one here. And these are the light pink ones. I think they call them Rococo Rose, but they're really light pink and oh so shimmery. Really, these are just favorites. I should have gotten 5 packs actually. And then we're going to put some more right down here. And these are, I don't know what color they call them, but I think they look kind of like the seafoam. I really do. That's not angled quite as much as I would like it. Let me see if I can fix that just a little bit. I don't know. The adhesive's stuck down there. So there is our gorgeous card. Now let's go back and just stamp our envelope because I really like to. I always like to. And we'll get our Mossy Meadow back in. And we'll just do the same treatment on the lower left of the envelope that we did on the inside of the card. Just that one stamp, that outline stamp, and then the watercolory stamp that fills it in. Just like that. That was quick, right? Because I was kind of doing it quick. But look at what you can do by just looking at the catalog. Don't you love it? I am just thrilled. And plus now I've made 2, right? I made the one for the sample and now I made this one. So I have 2 of these beautiful cards. Don't do tomorrow what you can do today. Anthony, you're so cute. Okay, so this is our beautiful card. And the one thing I wanted to tell you is that this bundle, the Hydrangea Haven stamp set and the Hydrangea dies, I think it's called the Hydrangea Haven bundle. One reason I wanted to use it, in addition to the fact that it's so beautiful, is that this bundle is $52 and it's totally in stock. And so you could purchase this bundle. I will send you the PDF tutorial and you get to choose a free gift from Celebration in that it's the last 4 days. And I really don't want you to miss out on that. Okay, I'm gonna switch back here. I really, you know, it doesn't come that often that you can get a free gift for your order. So you don't do anything but order something you already wanted anyway, and you get a free gift. And it's also a great time to join my team. I have had a couple girls join my team, or guys, but I know Anthony's already a demonstrator over in London. Because there's this, you know, I've explained to you before the special going on if you join my team during Celebration. So the 28th, it's over. Don't miss out if you want free things. And I thank you so much for coming by. And I will be we'll work with the butterflies on Friday. So don't forget to come back for those. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great week. Bye bye.